All right, we are back with another Prize Picks video. This one we're going to be talking about Sunday Night Football. Just didn't get around to doing football this morning, unfortunately, making a video for it. So I do apologize for that, but I wanted to get some content out for you guys. So I'm going to give you 2 picks for the Sunday Night Football game, and I'm also going to give you 4 picks if you do happen to see this before the 4 p.m. games start. And then, of course, I'll have Monday Night Football. That video will come out probably tomorrow morning. But if you're new, go ahead and subscribe. We've been doing all different types of sports. I will be doing an NBA video a little bit later as well. So stay tuned for that and definitely check that out once it comes. But ultimately going to give you guys 6 picks if you do see this before the 4 p.m. slates of games today on Sunday. But I will obviously have the 2 picks for Sunday night as well. So you'll have that to couple with NBA once that video drops very soon after this. So let's go into the picks here. First up, we're going to start with DJ Moore. His receptions line is going to be at 5.0, and I'm really liking that. He's obviously got this, since the past 4 games, has either pushed this or gone over. But let's just go into his page. We are going over for this, and let's jump into DJ Moore. DJ Moore, they got him at over 4.5 receptions at minus 166, so very heavily favored to go over this 4.5 line, which would be at least a push for us at 5.0. Going up against a defense that allows a lot of receptions, 29th ranked, giving up 26.2 receptions per game. So DJ Moore, obviously you could look at Cole Kmet, you could look at Mooney. I specifically like the wide receiver matchup here. If we look a little bit further in terms of the Chargers giving up, yardage even here, you can see they're number 1 in giving up yardage to receivers as well. And receptions, they're right up here as well. Chargers right here, 14.7 receptions. So definitely a spot that DJ Moore could thrive. You could look at his receiving yards, something I also looked at 56.5. I just was favoring the receptions line here. He's done it in a few more of these games. And being the number 1 target, I think that's what they will go to, especially being underdogs in this game at a 9.5-point spread. So good positive game script, great matchup for DJ, and just continues to get even more and more targets since the beginning of the year. 2 receptions in week 1, and since then his target share has just grown even more. So loving DJ Moore in this spot. And yeah, we're gonna start off with him. Next up, we got Eckler. These are the 2 picks for the Sunday night. 13.0. I think we're even getting a discount here at rush attempts. He's obviously being banged up this year, but he's looking back into his own. He had an ankle injury back in week 1, I want to say. Hadn't played for a while, but he has played the past 2 games. Let's look at Eckler's page here. I think you could go to fantasy score at Eckler as well. Very heavily favored to get into the end zone today, and someone that can hurt you in the short pass game as well. But I'm liking his rushing attempts, being 9.5-point favorites here. These games, they were all trailing, I want to say. Yeah, they lost this one, lost this one, and lost this one. So these were the games that he's played so far this year. He's gone over in all of them, but games they were trailing. Now, if they come out in front of this game, obviously they will favor the run game down the stretch. So just even more of a boost for Eckler, who's, I think, coming back into his full form since getting injured, that ankle injury week 1. But yeah, we saw him September 10th here, and then the 16th and the 22nd, he's kind of been ramping up. So really liking Eckler in this spot. Again, you could look at his fantasy score. I know rush attempts against the Bears, they have a solid rushing defense, but he's just a very, solid talent. I'd be looking at his fantasy score as well, but I think he gets at least 13, rush attempts, and really looking like he'll have more, especially if they're up late in this game. So these are the 2 picks for Sunday Night Football. DJ Moore over 5.0 receptions, and then Austin Eckler over 13.0 rush attempts. Now, if you do see this video before the 4 p.m. slate comes out, you'll probably have about an hour and a half to get those in once I post this video. But just wanted to talk about some quarterback rushing plays here. Joe Burrow at 8.5 rushing yards. I'm going to go under here. He hasn't hit this line once all year, and going up against the 49ers, who don't give up a whole lot of running yards in general, but to quarterbacks as well. Let's go to Burrow here and pull up his rushing yards. They got it at 9.5. We can get it at under 8.5 right here. So minus 102 odds. We talked about the rushing defense from San Francisco. They're ranked 3rd, 79th ranked, but specifically 2 quarterbacks. They also don't give up a whole bunch. I think it's like 10 per game, which obviously that's skewed with different, one game someone might have a 20-yard run, and that's it, and that's skewing it a little bit. So even though that 10, that we can actually look specifically at it, but quarterbacks not running backs, quarterbacks going up against San Fran, the yardage, I think, again, they are at 10. Yeah, so San Francisco, one of the better teams for sure, 10.86 per game. But again, very skewed, so someone that doesn't run the ball a lot at all, like Joe Burrow, I'm really liking to stay under this spot. So hasn't hit it once this year. A team that passes the ball a lot more than they run. Mixon's kind of been all right this year. But yeah, loving Burrow at this spot against a tough rushing defense. And then on the flip side of things, we're going to go to Mahomes. I was looking at his passing yards. That's something I've played today as well. It is a snow game or something. I think it's snowing in Denver. So I'm actually going to go to his rushing yards here at 22.5. He is someone that has, shown some spry legs so far this year. Mahomes going into like the weather as well with the snow, they could be running the ball just a little bit more than they typically do, finding himself in scramble situations. He's gone over this in 6 of the 7 games, pretty handily in all 6 of those games as well, other than this one game in Minnesota where he didn't run at all. But Denver giving up the most rushing yards per game at 167 rushing yards per game. So loving to see that as well. So not only has he done it in most of these games as well, or already, he also is going up against a poor defense in Denver. So like a Mahomes at this spot. So a little combo, not a combo, but 2 rushing plays for some quarterbacks. And then next 2 guys are going to be also guys playing at 4 o'clock. We're going to go to another Moore, not DJ this time. We're going to go to Elijah Moore at 33.5. Now, there is no Deshaun Watson in this game. So PJ Walker will be at the quarterback position. But he's played 2 games with him so far, with Watson going out. I think he's a concussion. I forget exactly what his injury is. But we can look at Elijah Moore's games so far this year, and then specifically with PJ Walker passing to him. 33.5. So obviously Walker came into the game. I think Watson only threw 5 attempts before having to leave the game. So Philip Walker has had pretty much 2 games under his belt. In this game, came in, didn't expect it. So this one I'm kind of throwing away in terms of their connection. But having a full week of practice, knowing he's going to start, looks like he had hit Elijah Moore for 59 yards. He is the number 2 target behind Amari Cooper, so definitely someone you could look at here. But he favored Moore in his first full start, and this will be his second full start for PJ Walker. So I'm liking Moore in this spot. I think they kind of continue to find this connection. I think he was 4 or 7 in terms of receptions and targets. If you wanted to couple him with a PJ Walker line as well, I like his pass attempts. Being the underdogs, I should also mention this for more, but being the underdogs, if they find themselves down, like I always say, they'll be passing the ball. Positive game script here. So just another stat to make this bet just look even a little bit better. And then the Seahawks giving up 259 receiving yards is also another good point for us. So Elijah Moore, I'm going to be going with him today. Look at Walker's pass attempts if you want to do a little combo for you. I will show it right here. I think it's at 30.5. He's gone over that in both of the games he started. 30.5 here. For pass attempts, he has gone over in the 2 games he started, but also, not a very good Seattle defense, passing defense specifically. So liking both of those guys in that spot. But just to give you another play here to get the 6 in, I would highly recommend doing that PJ Walker one. But I'm going to go with Gus Edwards here and 13.5 rush attempts. I'm going to go over here as well. I'll show you what he's been doing since Dobbins been out. Obviously, kind of a timeshare between him and Justice Hill. So let's open up his page. Gus Edwards, 13.5 rush attempts. I think you could look at a few different things. He has been, I think he's shown that he's the number 1 back on that Baltimore team with no Dobbins. Obviously, Justice Hill kind of maybe does some more third down stuff and end zone stuff. But Edwards has kind of been the guy to do, the bulk load of things. He's gone over in the past 2 games as well. And it's kind of just been trending in that direction. I'm sure they were kind of deciding who's going to be the guy they go to more, and it's seeming like he is the guy. And at a 9.5 point spread here for Baltimore being up, they should favor the run game if they do find themselves up. So positive game script. Arizona giving up a whole bunch of rushing attempts per game, at almost 30 per game. So I'm really liking Gus Edwards in this spot. So that's going to be the 6 picks. Again, I kind of give you an extra one with that PJ Walker one as well at the 30.5 pass attempts. So liking him in that spot. You could also look at if you wanted to combo Mahomes with someone. Again, there is snow in that game for the forecast, but I was looking at Mahomes and Kelsey. I was liking Kelsey receptions and Mahomes yards if he gets there. So liking that combo too. So a few extra plays kind of audibly here, but we'll lock in these plays. DJ Moore and Austin Eckler overs for tonight's game at 8:20 p.m. against that's Bears versus Chargers. And then for the 4 o'clock games, if you guys do find this video in time for that, we got Burrow at 8.5 rushing yards. We're going under. On the flip side of things, at Patrick Mahomes, we're going to go over his rushing yards at 22.5. Then we got Elijah Moore. So we got 2 mores on the slate. 33.5. We're going over there as well. Just liked his connection and his chemistry with PJ Walker taking the helm for his 3rd game. And then Gus Edwards at 13.5 rush attempts. We're going to go over there as well. Positive game script, poor rushing defense. But yeah, that's going to do it. Let's submit this, place the entry, and hopefully make some money tonight. I'll try to get that NBA video out as soon as possible. Again, just had a really busy morning, but wanted to get you guys, something. So that will do it. Let's make some money. Peace out.